All right, gang, what did we cover first? Did we cover the whole Vino Nobile di Montepulciano / Montepulciano d'Abruzzo thing? Should we cover that? Should we take a minute to kind of go over the differences here? 1 minute, or else I get fired. So, Vino Nobile di Montepulciano and Montepulciano d'Abruzzo are not the same. They're two different things. There is Montepulciano in each of their names, but they are different wines from different areas in Italy. Vino Nobile di Montepulciano comes from the town of Montepulciano in Tuscany, on the eastern side of Tuscany there. It is a Sangiovese-based wine and has been around forever. Montepulciano d'Abruzzo is actually made from the Montepulciano grape, comes from the Abruzzo area on the eastern side of Italy, on the other side of the Apennines. And that wine, even though they said at some point Montepulciano, that grape, and Sangiovese were related, I can't find it anywhere, and every time I taste the wine, like, I don't see it. So there you go. Vino Nobile di Montepulciano and Montepulciano d'Abruzzo are two different things. Today, we are talking about Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, and not just any Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, one of my super duper triple favoritist producers in Abruzzo, Nicola Santoleri. These guys have been around since the 600s. Not 1600s, not 1960s, 600s. That's a while, baby. That's a lot of generations. I'd say in the last 50, 60 years, they've kicked it up a notch. They grow, they did, I think they still do grow a bunch of different things. They do wheat, they do all this wonderful fun stuff. Santoleri's property has been organic since 1981. Let that sink in, all you kids. He was organic before you knew what organic was, before you were told that you had to have everything organic or you would die. So you could have drank this wine for over 40 years and not died. Very organic. Well, but not in the bad organic way. He just grows organically. He actually makes the wine like a normal human being does. So it tastes fabulous and awesome and normal and delicious. Nothing fancy here. Larger wood barrels, beautifully grown grapes from two different vineyards, planted in 1968 and 1972. So both of the vineyards are now over 50 years old. Strange, yeah, it's uncomfortable saying that. And accordingly, you get great concentration. Because here's the deal with Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. It is one of the breadbasket wines of Italy. It is found everywhere in the southern areas, and it is one of the great export wines to America because it is like this. It is always dark and rich and juicy and forza, very strong, and the grape, even with higher yields, can still produce a powerful inky wine, all right? But you can only hide high yields behind concentration and over-extraction, et cetera, for so long. At some point, the proof has to be in the pudding. To take Montepulciano d'Abruzzo to the next level, you have to have these older vineyards. You have to have these this wonderful climate, these calcareous, sandy soils. You need to have all the proper things to make any old world-class wine. Montepulciano, it's easier to hide, but in the end, the great stuff still has to be great. And here we have those old vines. We have aging in larger barrels for 20 months, bottled unfiltered, and then the wine sits in the cellars like forever. Current vintage in front of me right now, the 2010. That's right, baby, 2010. A great, great vintage. Not just in Abruzzo, but throughout all of Italy. You remember those 2010 Barolos? You remember the 2010 Chiantis? You remember all these great 2010 wines that surfaced? This wonderful, wonderful wine is a byproduct of that fantastic harvest. It was a universally great vintage throughout Italy, although maybe the Sicilians will bitch or something. You never know with Sicily. Like, when Italy has shit vintages, like the Sicilians are like, it was great, so, because they're Italy, but they're not kind of Italy, right, anyway. 2010, great year. Look at this color, gang. That is fabulous Montepulciano color. This wine's almost 15 years old. Looks like it's about 3 years old. Okay, textbook. You get a little smoke, little hint of tobacco, but you get a wonderful iodine. I call it iodine. I don't know what you want to call it, but this there's almost like an iodine character, like an inky or like an India ink aspect to the really black fruit component in this wine. This is not a wine of artifice. This is a pure wine from vineyards that have been organic, how long? 40 plus years. Aged in older barrels. This wine is not hiding. Quite the opposite. This wine's like, look at me. What do you got? I know what I got. What do you got? In 2010, it wasn't a hot year. A warm year, cool evenings. This diurnal temperature shift in 2010, which we also saw with Nebbiolo, and this extension of the growing season, great weather all the way through the back end of the growing season, allowed vintners to pick whenever they wanted to pick and create the exact wine that they wanted to. And frankly, I don't see this wine getting better than this. You know what I mean? Like, all these guys had the option to do whatever the heck they wanted in 2010, or the vast majority of them. So a lot of these folks made a lot of corresponding, they made some of their best wines ever. Brunello Montalcino, Barbaresco, you name it. And it's the same thing in the Abruzzo. Man, I love that. I love the black fruit. I love that deep plum. I'm not gonna call it like blackberry per se, but man, it is like deep farmer's market plum. You know, the one with the dark juice too. You know, like that. Like it just settles in with that India ink and all the other thing going on. Oh my God. But wonderful definition to this wine. At 15 years of age, still a punk, still a young punk. Another decade, easy here, all right? But the tannins have started to soften, so you can enjoy it now. I'm drinking the hell out of it right now, in case you didn't notice. But no rush. Now, the fact that we get this wine from this quality producer in this quality vintage, and the wine's 35 bucks, it's got to be almost economically unfeasible to do nowadays. I'm always consistently blown away by these great older wines that we see, whether it's from Bordeaux, whether it's from Spain, like Rioja or what have you, this fabulous older Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. When we get wines with these spottle age, from these types of years, at this types of price, you don't know what a treat that is. I mean, you don't know how special that is. We in the wine business get super giddy when things like this pop up, and we tend to buy hard, which we bought hard on this. There's a little more to be had, but you do want to secure this sooner as opposed to later. This is an exquisite value, checks every box, pushes all the buttons. 35 bucks. That's a joke. Well, the wine's not a joke. The wine's serious as a heart attack, but price is a joke. Get some.